Hello, in this video we're going to go through learning target 422, which is basically just to solve a word problem that involves percents, decimals, fractions, things like that. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to annotate a math problem. And annotating is just like drawing your attention to the important information. So first one is to eliminate or cross out any irrelevant information or distractors. So especially numbers, if there are numbers in there that are not important, you want to cross those out so you don't get distracted by them. 2, circle all of the important information. So circle everything that you think is important, especially any of the numbers that you're going to use. 3, underline the question being asked so you know what you're supposed to answer. 4, box any keywords related to math. So things that say like product or sum or total, things like that. So you know like a math operation that you might need to do, put a box around any of those. Make a plan, and then solve and check your work. You can pause it if you need to write any of this down, but we're going to go through a couple examples. Now, it's just like not possible to go through every single example you might need because this learning target is like word problems involving percents. Like that's a lot of different things. So I'm going to go through as many as I can of different types of examples, but just know that there are things that could come up later that we didn't go through. You just need to think through what makes sense. So the first time you read a problem, just read it straight through. A doctor is supposed to give a solution of a particular medicine that affects 10% of a person's body. A patient weighs 155 pounds. The doctor gave the patient a solution that affected 20 pounds of the patient. What percent of the person's body was affected? So now I'm going to go back through and I'm going to circle the important things, or I guess I should start by eliminating anything. This one doesn't really have anything that sticks out to me that needs to be eliminated, so that's why I'm not really going to do that part. Most things seem to be important. Then I'm going to circle the things that I know are important. So we have this part, 155 pounds, 20 pounds, and then underline the question being asked. I don't really have any keywords like sum or total or anything like that, so I don't have any boxes to put. So now I'm just going to try to solve this. So what it's asking is what percent of the person's body was affected. So if we know that 20 pounds were affected and this is their overall weight, then I can figure out what percent that is by dividing them. So I can figure out 20 pounds divided by 150 total. So this is like the part, this is the total, and that will give me an answer. So 20 divided by 155 tells me this. Now this is not a percent. I'm going to write it down, 0.129. This is not a percent, but to get a percent, so to convert from a decimal to a percent, we just need to move 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. So it affected 12.9% of the body. Now, it said that it was supposed to only affect 10, so they went a little bit over. So it's a little bit more than they were supposed to give. But that 10% we didn't really need to use. We just needed to compare our answer to it. Now let's look at this next type of problem. So this next one, you have $800 in the bank and you want to earn $75 in interest. If you earn 6.25% interest each year, how much money did you earn after having your $800 in the bank for 1 year? So now initially, like I notice it says 800 twice. I don't need that. So like I'm going to just cross out one of the 800s because it says it twice. I don't care. Now I'm going to circle everything else that's important. Underline the question being asked. I don't really have any keywords in this one either, so nothing to be boxed. So let's make a plan. So it says, how much money did we earn after having it in the bank for 1 year? So we have this amount of money, 800. Oops, 800. And we're making this percent interest. Whenever you're multiplying a percent by a whole number, you need to change it to a decimal. So to change a decimal to a percent, we just go backwards. So we're going to move our decimal places 2 points to the left. So I'm going to multiply by 0.0625. So again, you just move your decimal place so it's a decimal 2 places. And then we can multiply that in our calculator. So we get $50. So this is the interest that we earned after 1 year. And since it did only ask for 1 year, this is our answer. Now again, we want to compare it to what it said. So it said we wanted to earn 75, we earned 50, which is a little less, but here's our answer. Go ahead and flip. You got one more I want to do together, and then I'll have you try one. So this last one is the most difficult of them, which is essentially like a mixture problem. So it says there's 9 pounds of mixed nuts. The ratio is 55% peanuts. Then we mix that with 6 pounds of another kind of mixed nuts that contain 40% peanuts. What percent of the new mixture is peanuts? So you can do this lots of different ways. How I think about it is I just want to figure out the totals of everything and then go from there. So if I have a 9-pound mixture and 55% are peanuts, then I can find out how much of the pounds are actually peanuts. So I'm going to move this to a decimal by moving the decimal place 2 to the left and multiply my calculator. So 9 pounds times 55% gives me 4.95 pounds. So that means almost 5 pounds of this mixture is all peanuts. Now I'm going to do that again with my 6-pound mixture. So 6 pounds times the 40% gives me 2.4 pounds of just peanuts. So now my total mixture, I'm going to have this total is just the peanuts part, and this is the mixed total. So I'm going to put my peanuts on top, 7.35. My total on bottom, which is 15. And then I can divide to find my percentage. So I get 0.49, which is 49%. Which should make sense. If we're mixing something that has 55% with something that has 40, your new mixture should have somewhere in between. But since there was more of the 55%, it'll be skewed that way. All right, so I want you to pause it, do the next 2 problems, and then come back to see the answers. And here we go. So on this first you try, how many are you allowed to get wrong? You're allowed to get 10 wrong. So you have to get 40 right. You can get 10 wrong. And then the second one is one of those mixture problems. So I have kind of my work over here, and our answer is 46% concentration. I hope this helps. There's lots of different types of these problems, but I hope this gives you a good idea of how to solve percent problems.